Hi, so my name is Matt Bingham, and this is an acoustic vinyasa yoga practice. So the acoustic part means I'll play a song on my acoustic guitar at the very end during Shavasana. And then I'll just mention a few other things too before we start. So one of which is the props. So I suggest having just a couple blocks set up like this near the top of your mat, and then also a blanket nearby just in case. And also I'm in a beautiful space that is Northern Arizona Yoga Center in Flagstaff, Arizona. So I've been teaching here since 2014 and I'm just really passionate about this space and the practice of yoga and music. So I teach weekly here, 3 classes a week, and if you'd like to check that out, I'm here. But there's also a lot of other great teachers and classes as well. And then lastly, the Light Meeting app. So the Light Meeting is my band, and we've released a lot of music for meditation and yoga. So the app will have all the music that we've previously released that's already out there, in addition to new music that'll be released ahead of time versus anywhere else, and then also some music that'll be exclusive just to the app. And in addition to that, it'll also have this yoga class and more yoga classes on that. So it's kind of a place where music and yoga all kind of combined. So if that's something that interests you, I recommend checking that out. If you're watching this video on YouTube, I'll put a link in the description. So for this practice, we'll start in Sukhasana, which is just that easy cross-legged seated position. I have a blanket folded up, so you might want to do the same, placing that underneath your hips. And then just give yourself time to settle into that pose. So before we do anything else, we'll take about 5 breaths, just to tune in with yourself. So seeing how you're feeling right now. And if your mind's kind of going from one place to the next, you're not quite settled or grounded yet, something to try can be as simple as placing your palms face down for that extra sense of grounding. And we'll just take about 2 more breaths in this space. And with your next inhale, slowly lift your shoulders up toward your ears. And then with your exhale, take a long sigh as you let them drop back down. And we'll do that one more time. So inhale, lift your shoulders. Exhale, sigh, letting them drop back down. Take a couple breaths. Just notice the change. And then if you haven't already, just start to find your Ujjayi breath. So if you're not familiar with that, it's the same thing that you do if you're going to fog up a mirror, except for you just keep your mouth closed the whole time. So it's an oceanic wave-like sound with each breath cycle. So we'll take about 5 more breaths, finding that Ujjayi connection. So staying strongly connected to your breath throughout the rest of this practice as best you can. We'll add in some movement. So start to circle out forward with your heart, and then just go in one direction to start. And just noticing how you feel in your low back and how that feels side to side. How that's connected to your hips and your legs. And then once you're ready, change the direction of those circles. So maybe your last circle or 2 are your biggest circles. And then we're going to use that movement to create a lengthening for a Sukhasana forward fold. So flex your feet a bit as you walk your hands forward. And we'll take about 5 breaths like this. So if stillness is enough for you, you can stay here. Otherwise, keep that movement going by just rocking the weight hand to hand. So I just like to call that the X-shaped stretch. So as my right hand presses forward, my left hip presses back at the same time. And the left hand presses, right hip presses at the same time. And I just take that side to side. So we'll do about 2 or 3 more cycles. And again, just taking that time in your movement, but even if you're not moving, even if you're in stillness, just notice how you feel side to side. And then if you are rocking, just even that out. Come back to a Sukhasana forward fold. So especially if you took that rocking, maybe inhale, you can crawl fingertips further forward. And with your exhale, maybe deepen your fold, melting your heart and forehead a little bit more towards the earth. And then staying connected to breath, walking your hands all the way back. And then we're going to walk the hands all the way back behind your hips. Take your time to lean back into your hands as you uncross your ankles. So take note of which ankle you had in front. And then from this foundation, we're going to cycle the knees side to side. So one option is keeping your hands behind you, but if you want a little bit more core and fun fluidity in your practice, start to just twist to the opposite side with your arms and torso, whatever side your knees are going to. So we'll take about 3 or 4 more cycles. And as you're doing this, just notice how the outer rotation feels for your legs and how the inner rotation feels side to side for your legs. And then once you're even, bring it back to the center, and then bring the opposite ankle in front or on top. Give yourself a breath or 2 here. So now you can maybe sit up a little bit taller after that movement. And then from there, next inhale, lift your arms, connect your palms overhead, and then keep them connected, but with your exhale, float your thumbs to your heart. So with your thumbs in your heart space, we'll take about 3 deep breaths. And if you'd like to set an intention for your practice, just use this space to do that. So from there, bring your hands back to your thighs, again, palm face down. And we'll do a little cow and cat. So with your next inhale, bring your heart forward, gaze up like cow pose. And with your exhale, reverse that into a cat pose. And then find your own rhythmic movement just with your own pace of breath. So each inhale is cow, each exhale is cat. So we'll do about 3 more. So with that last cycle, we're going to land in cat pose. We'll actually hang on to cat pose for about 5 deep breaths. So hollow out your belly a little bit more, but still taking those deep breaths. And to stretch the back of your neck, tuck your chin towards your chest a bit more. And you can stay in the center, or just like a slow pendulum swinging side to side. Just rock your chin side to side. If there's any areas that feel good, you can keep your chin there. Otherwise, continue that rocking. Again, if you're taking that rocking, evening that out, bring it back to that cat pose. So take a deep inhale. Your exhale, maybe more weight toward your hips, hollowing out your belly even more, so engaging your core even more. And then let your next inhale rise you back to a Sukhasana. And then use that exhale to ground down Sukhasana. Your next inhale, bring your arms out wide. And with your next exhale, take a side stretch up and over to your right side. So take a couple breaths here on this side to start. And with your next exhale, drop that top hand down. We're going to walk on tented fingertips to a Sukhasana forward fold. So again, flex your feet. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen your fold. Crawl fingertips further forward. And then take your next inhale to open to the opposite side. So left side stretch. Again, take a breath or two there. And then we'll turn that to a flow. So with your next exhale, dropping top fingertips down, walking on tented fingertips with both hands back to that Sukhasana forward fold. So you inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen your fold. Crawl fingertips further forward. So next inhale, opening to the right. So just for an inhale, use that to lengthen side stretch. Your exhale again, center. So we're just going to flow that. So inhale, lengthen, center. Exhale, fold. Inhale to the left. Exhale, center. Inhale, lengthen, center. Exhale, fold. Inhale to the right. Exhale, center. Inhale, lengthen, center. Exhale, fold. Inhale to the left. Exhale, center. Inhale, lengthen, center. Exhale, fold. So inhale to your right. Next time you're to the right side stretch, we'll keep this for about 3 or 4 long breaths. So maybe after all that movement, maybe each inhale you can feel that expansion, each exhale deepening. So maybe more weight towards that bottom hand. And that really happens more and more with each breath cycle. Now last breath or two. Maybe that last exhale is most weight towards that bottom hand. And then press into that bottom hand just to re-lengthen side stretch. So coming up a little bit. And then use that lengthening to find a twist. So drop that top hand to thigh. Walk bottom fingertips behind the hip. And then now you inhale, lengthen. So hips down, top of head high. If that's enough of a twist, stay or twist deeper to your right until it is. And then maybe add on, letting that right ear fall towards the right shoulder. And we'll take about 3 deep breaths in this twist. So maybe your last breath or two, each inhale, even though you're twisted, you still feel that lengthening, expansion. Each exhale, a release, maybe a deeper twist. The next inhale, rewind back to that side stretch. Your next exhale, continue that flow. Walk fingertips back to the center. Again, inhale, lengthen, center. Again, exhale, fold. Crawl fingertips further forward. Again, inhale, opening to left side stretch. And again, once you're landed there, take about 3 or 4 long breaths. Again, starting out with that intention, each inhale you feel that lengthening. Each exhale, maybe more weight towards that bottom hand, deepening your side stretch. The last breath or two. Maybe last exhale, most weight towards that bottom hand. Then press to the bottom hand just to re-lengthen, coming up just a bit. Your exhale, use that lengthening, drop top hand to thigh, walk bottom fingertips behind hip, setting up for the twist. With your inhale, lengthen, so hips down, top of head high. Again, if that's the edge with your twist, stay, otherwise twist deeper to your left until it is. And if you did on that first side, left ear to left shoulder this time. And about 3 deep breaths. Maybe last breath or two, each exhale feels like a release into the twist, so no forcing, just using that awareness with your breath. And then next inhale, rewind back to that lengthened side stretch. Your exhale, continue that flow, so walk fingertips back to center. Again, inhale, lengthen, center. Your exhale, fold. This time we'll land here, 5 deep breaths, Sukhasana, forward fold. Again, stillness or that movement, that X-shaped stretch. So you're taking that rocking again back to center. So one last intentional breath. Maybe inhale, you can crawl fingertips even further forward. With your exhale, maybe find your deepest fold yet. And then keep breathing as you transition. Again, walking hands all the way back behind you. You lean the weight back to your hands, uncross ankles, plant feet down. And again, once you're ready to move, cycling knees side to side. Again, with that hand for support behind, or twisting to the opposite side with torso and arms. And again, we'll take about 5 more. You're just making that as fun and as fluid as you can as you go side to side. So once you're even, bring it back to center Sukhasana, whichever ankle, so maybe your favorite ankle in front. Take a breath or two, so we're back where we started. Again, maybe after all that, can sit up the tallest. Exhale, hold onto that grounded space. So one more breath. And then being mindful as you transition into a tabletop pose. So I like to pad my knees in tabletop with a blanket. You might want to do the same. That's not always necessary, but I feel like my knees sometimes just need a little bit of extra support, so it might be the same for you. And then give yourself a breath to land in your tabletop. So finding that nice connection to the earth, spreading fingers out wide. And we'll work out the wrists. So face fingers away from each other. Bring a gentle claw to fingertips as you rock the weight hand to hand. And once you're even there, back to center, and then face fingers towards each other. Same thing, claw to fingertips, and then rock the weight hand to hand. So with that fingertip claw, I don't always have a obvious claw. It's just sometimes more pressure towards my fingertips. And once you get the hang of that, to deepen that, maybe start to peel one wrist off the earth, and then take that side to side. That always feels great for my wrists. And then once you're even there, side to side, back to center, face fingers back forward, so we're just back in a tabletop. So from there, lean the weight toward your hands, keeping that gentle claw to fingertips. As you lift the feet off the earth, make some slow circles at your ankles. So the big toes are drawing circles behind you one direction. It should feel like a nice counter pose from that Sukhasana, seated position. And then change direction of those circles. And then once you're even, press to the tops of your feet as you press them back down towards the earth. Take a breath. Notice what that does to your leg and core connection. And then keep that. So not over tensing, but just enough of a leg and core engagement as we go through an inhale undulation cow pose. And then exhale undulation cat pose. So it's just that expanded version of cow and cat. So take that about 4 more times, again, just at your own pace of breath. So as you're doing this for the last cycle or two, notice those parts of your spine that feel a little bit more open, and maybe some that feel less so. Just be mindful with that throughout the rest of the practice. And then with your next exhale, we're going to follow that momentum all the way back to a bent knee, then a straight leg downward facing dog. And then we'll take about 5 breaths in downward facing dog. So again, if stillness is best, just breathe. Find that nice connection to the earth with hands and feet. But if movement is best, maybe lift a heel as you press the opposite heel down. And then just take that side to side. Notice how the back of one leg feels versus opposite leg. So last couple cycles. Back to center down dog. Take one grounded breath. Inhale, see if you can feel that lengthening fingertips to hips to heels. Exhale, that sense of grounding. So maybe a little bit more weight towards heels and hands. And then next we'll do some spring salutations. So inhale, lift heels. Take your time to walk your feet to your hands. So they're going to end up at the top of the mat. Feet are about hip width apart. And then you roll your way up to stand. And then once your neck and your head are lifted, and you lift your arms, and then grab opposite elbows with the right arm in front. So we'll take one breath here. So you just inhale, feel that pressing up with elbows, pressing down with heels. So it's not too much, it's just a lengthened, just kind of feeling, and then also just staying connected to core the whole time. And with your exhale, a sense of grounding. So we just hold that space. And with your next inhale, reach your hands high with the right wrist in front, interlace your fingers like this. So knuckles towards sky. And with your exhale, pull your hands to your heart. So you can stay there or coil in like cat pose. And with your inhale, we're going to unwind, so knuckles back to sky. And with your exhale, release the bind with fingers interlaced to find a forward fold Uttanasana. And with your next inhale, halfway lift Ardha Uttanasana. With your next exhale, plant your hands 1 foot at a time, bring it back to a bent knee, then a straight leg down dog. So take one breath, down dog. And then we'll switch sides. So inhale, lifting heels, taking your time, walk your feet to hands. And then rolling your way up to stand. The top of that lift, reaching arms, left arm in front, grab opposite elbows. Again, pausing for a breath. So inhale, lengthened. Exhale, that sense of stillness and grounding. Inhale, reach, interlace fingers, left wrist in front. Exhale, hands to heart. So stay or that coiling in. Inhale, unwind, knuckles back to sky. Exhale, release, slow dive, forward fold to Uttanasana. Inhale again, halfway lift, lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, again, hands plant, 1 foot at a time, bring it back. Bent knee, just straight leg down dog. Again, take a breath there. And we'll do 2 more, so 1 more each side. So inhale, lifting heels, walking feet to hands. Once you're there, bending knees, rolling your way up to stand. The top of that, inhale, lifting arms, right arm in front, opposite elbow grab. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, that sense of stillness and groundedness. Inhale again, reach, interlace fingers. Exhale, hands to heart, maybe that compression coiling in like cat pose. Inhale, rewind. Exhale, slow dive, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen out, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, again, hands plant, 1 foot at a time, back to bent knee, straight leg down dog, take a breath. Lift heels, walk feet to hands, so last cycle. And once you're there, roll your way up to stand. The top, inhale, reach, left arm in front, opposite elbow grab. So inhale, lengthening. Exhale, that sense of groundedness and stillness. Inhale, reach, interlace fingers. Exhale, hands to hearts. Again, maybe that coiling in shape. Inhale, rewind, unwind. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands plant, 1 foot at a time, back to bent knee and straight leg down dog. Take 1 breath, down dog. And then your choice from down dog or tabletop. We'll be here a little bit longer. So lift that left leg and then just make some slow circles out to the side with that left knee. So you're really moving from the left hip. And then opposite direction of those circles. And then once you're balanced, that left leg straight up and back. And just point and flex that left foot a few times. And then release, so left foot back down, so either table or down dog. And we'll switch sides, so inhale, lift right leg. Same thing, make some slow circles out to the side with that right knee. And then opposite direction. Right leg straight up and back. Point and flex that right foot about 5 or 6 times. And then choose, so either right toes point, right foot flexed, somewhere in between, whatever you need for the back of that right leg. So take one extra breath there. And then inhale, point right toes if they're not already, so lengthen further back. With your next exhale, right knee to chest, nice and slow. Use that to step the right foot forward into a lunge position, but we're gonna frame the right foot with blocks first. So take your time to get set up. So blocks, maybe no blocks for you, as I mentioned before. And once you're set up, we'll turn this into a flow. So with your next inhale, legs go straight, using your core to find that lift, like someone's got a string attached to your back, pulling you towards the sky. And with your exhale, keep all that integrated, but resync back to your lunge. We'll do that 3 more times. So just at your own pace. So inhale that lift. Exhale to that reintegrated lunge. So about 2 more. So next time you land in your lunge, we'll keep that with the hands down, about 2 deep breaths. So I like to pause in my classes with stuff like this before we rise. So it's a strong lunge, but that sense of buoyancy is there that you just found. And then from there, drop the left heel. So we are in warrior 2 legs. And then bring the blocks forward. And then crawl your fingertips outside the left-hand corner of your mat. So maybe all the way off your mat. And then to come into this deeper, we're gonna shift the weight towards the hands. Press through the hands to shift more weight toward your heels. So we'll take about 2 deep breaths here. So I'm going to add in one last breath. Maybe you can feel that inhale lengthen sensation. Exhale, maybe more weight shifted towards feet. And then take your time as you transition back, walking hands underneath shoulders. And we're just going to continue walking to the left to a surfer's pose near the back of the mat. So left knee bends, right leg straight, hips sink towards left heel. Then we'll turn that right to the flow. So inhale, hips high center. Through exhale, opposite side surfers. So take about 3 more, again, just at your own pace. So each inhale, lifting hips center to reset. Each exhale, switching sides with your surfers. So next time you get near the back of your mat in your surfers, that left knee's bent. We'll keep this for about 3 deep breaths. So again, if stillness is best, keeping that. Otherwise, maybe some movement with your hips. So little pulses up and down to find a deeper pose. So last breath. Maybe that last exhale is most weight with hips towards that left heel, if it feels like a release, so no forcing. And then press off that left foot. Inhale, set up for wide-legged forward fold. So next inhale, you lengthen. And then with your exhale, find your fold. And then interlace fingers behind your back. So you can move the pinky edge side of your hands up and over that direction, up and over your head. And we'll take about 3 deep breaths. Maybe that last exhale, hands the most towards the earth. From there, on interlace fingers, hands back underneath shoulders. Inhale again, lengthen Ardha Uttanasana back. Your next exhale, we'll walk back forward, right facing lunge. This time, no blocks. And we'll root to rise. So now press your feet down to root down. We'll rise, torso and arms. Give yourself about 5 good deep breaths in this high lunge. So staying strong in your pose. But again, just like before, that sense of lightness and buoyancy is also there. So trying to let go of any tension that you don't need for this pose. So last breath or two. And from here, we're going to continue that spring salutation. So just bend the left knee, press off that left foot, bring that left foot forward, knees are both bent. You roll your way up to stand, right arm in front, opposite elbow grab. That inhale lengthening, that exhale still sense of grounding. Inhale, reach, interlace fingers. Exhale, hands to heart, stay, or that coiled in cat pose shape. Inhale, rewind. Exhale, slow dive, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold 1 foot at a time. Step back, bent knee, straight leg down dog. Again, take a breath or two, down dog. And then as you're ready, lift left leg straight up and back. And just about 2 or 3 times, point and flex that left foot. And then choose. So either left toes point, left foot flex, maybe somewhere in between, whatever you need for the back of that left leg. Take a breath there. Stay or inhale, point left toes further back. Next exhale, left knee to chest once. Just step that left foot forward. Setting up for that flow with the lunge first. So framing that left foot, blocks or no blocks. Taking the time to get set up before you move. And then with your inhale, find that lift. So legs straight, core is connected, like someone's got that string connected to your back, lifting towards sky. With your exhale, re-sink back to that integrated lunge. So about 3 more, just at your own pace. So next exhale, you sink into your lunge, keeping that left foot still framed with hands and or blocks. So it's a strong lunge, but that sense of buoyancy is there. From there, bring the blocks forward. Ground that right heel. So warrior 2 legs. Bring your hands to the inner edge of that left foot. Walk your hands up and out over the mat to the right side. And then again, to come into that deeper, shift the weight toward your hands, claw fingertips. You press off your hands, shift the weight back towards heels. We'll take about 3 deep breaths. Okay, maybe that last inhale, that lengthened sensation. Exhale, most weight maybe towards feet. So being mindful as you transition, walk hands back underneath shoulders. Keep walking to the right, all the way back to surfer's pose near the back of the mat. And right to that flow. So inhale, hips high center. Exhale, surfer's opposite side. So about 3 more. Inhale, hips high center. Each time you inhale, each time you exhale, go to the opposite side with your surfers. So next time you're in surfers, right, so the right knee's bent. We'll keep that for about 3 deep breaths. So stillness or those hip pulses up and down. So last breath. Maybe last exhale is most weight towards that right heel if it feels like a good release. And then press off the right foot. Wide-legged forward fold legs, but this time wide-legged downward facing dog upper body. So walking hands away from feet. And then to come into that, we'll do the same thing. So shift the weight toward your hands, gentle claw to fingertips. Press off hands, shift the weight all the way back toward your feet. And we'll take about 3 deep breaths. So just like that Sukhasana, you can feel that lengthened sensation, pressing fingertips away from hips. Your exhale, maybe deepen your fold, so melting heart and forehead a little bit more towards the earth. So last breath. Walking hands back underneath shoulders. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, back forward, left facing lunge. And again from there, root to rise. So rooting down through feet, legs. You rise, torso and arms. And then once you're there, take about 5 long breaths to land in your high lunge on this side. So noticing if you're holding any tension that you could let go of. So last breath or 2. And continuing that spring salutation. So bend the right knee, press off right foot, steps forward, both knees are bent, feet are hip width apart. You roll your way up to stand. At the top there, left arm in front, opposite elbow grab. Inhale, that lengthening. Exhale, that sense of stillness and grounding. Inhale, reach, interlace fingers. Exhale, hands to heart. Maybe that compression cat pose in. Inhale, rewind, knuckles back to sky. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Your exhale, fold, hands plant. Again, 1 foot at a time, bring it back. Bent knee to straight leg down dog. Take a breath or 2, land down dog. So next inhale, lift the right leg. But then from there, we're going to cross at the ankles. So right foot to outer edge of that left foot. And then we're going to stretch that right side. So shift the weight a little bit more towards that left hand. Keep pressing back with heels as you tent right fingertips. And then spin the right side of your torso more towards the sky. Take about 2 deep breaths there. Your next exhale, release right hand back down. Inhale, relift right leg. This time bend the right knee, let the right hip stack on top of left hip. Take 1 extra breath there. And then stay, refine that, or inhale right knee higher, so more core. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. And then up and back, right leg, right knee sky, inhale. Exhale, right knee to left elbow twist. We're gonna use that to find fallen triangle. So let that right foot land. You lift that left side towards sky, palm face down with that left hand. Take about 2 deep breaths. Maybe that inhale, you expand a bit higher, left side and right side. Your exhale, unwind, left hand down. Inhale, up and back, right leg straight, 3-point down dog. Exhale, right knee back to chest. Use that to step the right foot forward, back to high lunge. We're going to reroute to rise. Take about 2 deep breaths to start in your high lunge. And then you have the option to stay here in this high lunge. We'll do an energy visualization practice. So we'll start this by inhale, reaching fingertips away from hips, so lengthen there. With your exhale, make an energy ball forward, so tapping your fingertips in front of your navel center as you tap left toes to right heel. So that's 1 of 4. So inhale back to high lunge. Exhale, bring it back in. Inhale back to high lunge. Exhale, bring it back in. So last one, inhale, high lunge. Exhale, last one, bring it in, maybe the most compressed. With your next inhale, open wide to warrior three. We'll take about 3 long breaths, warrior three. So any arm variation that suits you best. I like this wide wingspan version. So one last deep inhale, warrior three. Your next exhale, we're going to land in warrior one legs. And then next inhale, legs straight. Reach arms overhead, interlace fingers. With your exhale, flip palms towards sky as you resync the right knee forward. So back to warrior one legs. We'll be here for about 3 or 4 deep breaths. You can stay here or find a left side stretch by reaching up and over to your right side. About 3 more long breaths. So maybe that last exhale is leaning the most to the right. With your next inhale, back to center, legs back to straight, pressing palms towards sky. And with your exhale, we'll find warrior two with the fingertips pulling behind your head. So we'll take a couple deep breaths here to start. So with your next inhale, find your hips lifting, so legs straight. And then with your next exhale, warrior two, opposite side, that fingertip pull, but opposite hand in front. And we'll just turn that into a flow. So inhale, hip center. Exhale, back forward, switching hands. Inhale, hip center. Exhale, towards the back, switching hands. Inhale, hips high center. Exhale, back forward, switching hands. Take a breath here, we'll stay. And then next inhale, let your fingertips unhook to wide arm warrior two. So about 5 deep breaths. So again, powerful pose, warrior two, just like that lunge pose. But that sense of lightness stays with you to help balance. It's about 2 more deep breaths. So maybe last exhale, hips the lowest. Inhale, reaching the most, fingertips to fingertips. With your exhale, surfer's pose near the back. And then we're going to surf up to half moon. So standing on the right leg, block or no block, that left side lifts. So half moon, about 3 deep breaths. That last inhale, maybe that most expanded, lengthened half moon. Your exhale, have fun as you transition into a lunge twist. So lay on left toes, lay on left hand, right side lifts. You can stay here, breathe, or side plank. So you just keep twisting to your left. Right foot maybe stacks on top of left. Any other leg variation, go for it. Maybe right fingertips forward. I like the side stretch version. So about 2 more deep breaths. Maybe inhale, lifting the most. Your exhale, we're gonna unwind, all meeting in a plank pose. So inhale, plank. Exhale, bent knee to straight leg down dog. Take a breath there, down dog. And then inhale, relift to right leg. So first, actually, step the left foot to the center. Inhale, relift right leg. Exhale, crossing at ankles again, just like we did before. You can stay there, or we'll do some plank to down dog waves. You can start by bending the knees first, pressing off through feet. Inhale, send it forward to plank with the ankle cross. Exhale, back to bent knee, straight leg down dog. So 2 more bending knees, springing forward, inhale, plank. Exhale, bent knee, straight leg down dog. And 1 more, bend knees, coming forward. Inhale, plank. Exhale, bent knee, straight leg down dog. Inhale, relift right leg, rebend right knee, restack right hip. So stay, build on that, or this time drop the right foot behind for wild thing. So either way, we'll take about 3 long breaths. Next inhale maybe is your highest lift. Your exhale, unwind. Back to down dog. 3-point down dog, point the right toes. Exhale, land the right toes. So we're just back in full down dog. Take a breath. And then we'll switch sides. So inhale, lift left leg. From there, crossing at ankles. So left foot, outer edge of right foot. And then from there, shift the weight to the right. Tent left fingertips. Gently spin left side of torso towards sky. So take about 2 deep breaths there. From there, next exhale, release left hand. Inhale, relift left leg. This time bend left knee, left hip stacks. More weight right heel. 1 breath there. So extra time there. Or next exhale, left knee to left elbow. Inhale, left knee higher. Exhale, left knee to right elbow. Use that to find fallen triangle on this side. So left foot kicks out, that right side lifts. Take about 2 deep breaths. Maybe inhale, hips the highest. Your exhale, unwind. 3-point down dog, relift left leg, inhale. Exhale, left knee to chest. Use that to step the left foot forward. High lunge on this side. And take your time, root to rise. A couple deep breaths. So staying in stillness, if that suits you best, or that energy visualization practice on this side. So starting by lengthening fingertips away from hips with your next inhale. Your exhale, energy ball center in front of navel, tapping right toes to left heel. And again, 1 of 4. So inhale, this is 2. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And last one, inhale. Last one, exhale, maybe the most compressed. Your next inhale, let that bloom you open into a warrior 3. We'll take about 3 deep breaths. So last inhale, warrior 3. Exhale, land in warrior 1 legs. But then inhale, legs straight, interlace fingers, maybe opposite pinky in front. And with your exhale, flip palms towards sky. You rebend that left knee forward. Stay here in the center or stretch that right side by going up and over to your left side. Take about 3 deep breaths. So maybe that last exhale, if you're taking that side stretch, leaning most to the left. Inhale back, legs back to straight, palms back to sky. Exhale, that fingertip pull, warrior 2 forward. Take a breath or 2 there first. And then with your inhale, hip center. With your exhale, opposite side. Inhale, hips high center. With your exhale, opposite side, so back forward. Inhale, hips high center. Exhale, opposite side. Inhale, hips high center. Exhale, opposite side, so back forward. Take a breath there. Then let your fingertips unhook. Wide wingspan, warrior 2. 5 deep breaths. So it's a powerful pose. but also finding that seed of softness within. Last couple of breaths to find that balance. So last exhale, maybe hips the lowest. Last inhale, most expanding, fingertips to fingertips. With your exhale, surfers towards the back. With your inhale, surf it up to half moon. So that right side lifts. So about 3 deep breaths, half moon. Last inhale, maybe most expanded, half moon. Exhale, fun transition to lunge twist. Land right foot, right hand, left side lifts. Breathe there, lunge twist, or keep going to your right. Side plank, your version. Either way, we'll take about 3 deep breaths. Maybe inhale, lifting, expanding the most. Your exhale, take your time, bring it back to full plank center, so all meeting back there. Inhale's your plank. Exhale, bent knee, straight leg down dog. So right foot to the center. Inhale, relift left leg. Crossing it, ankles, left foot to outer edge of right foot. You can stay or bend knees, pressing through feet to send yourself to that first plank. Exhale, bent knee, and straight leg down dog. So 2 more. Inhale, springing forward plank. Exhale, bent knee, straight leg down dog. And last one. Inhale, spring forward plank. Exhale, bent knee, straight leg down dog. Next inhale, relift left leg, rebend left knee, restack left hip. Stay there, or left foot behind for wild thing. Again, take about 3 long breaths. So especially in these more difficult poses for most, using that inhale to find that sense of expansion, using that exhale to find that sense of solid groundedness. Last inhale, maybe most expanded. Exhale, unwind, 3-point down dog. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, left foot lands, full down dog. Again, take a breath or 2 to start, down dog. And then spring salutation. So inhale, lift heels. Again, walk feet to hands. Once you're at the top of the mat, rolling your way up to stand. Right arm in front. Inhale, pressing up. Exhale, that sense of groundedness. Inhale, reaching, interlace fingers. Exhale, hands to heart, staying, or again, that coiled in cat pose shape compression. Inhale, unwind. This time, stay standing. With your exhale, just release your arms down by your side. So we're in mountain pose. So we'll take about 5 deep breaths in mountain. So arms alongside torso, or maybe hands to heart. And maybe your eyes close. So you're feeling all that we've done so far in this stillness. A couple more deep breaths in this space. So with your next exhale, release your arms back down. With your inhale, again, spring salutation. So rolling up, bending your knees first. Left arm in front this time. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, that sense of stillness and groundedness. Inhale, you reach, interlace fingers. Exhale, hands to heart. Again, maybe that compression. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Inhale again, lengthen, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, hands plant, again, 1 foot at a time, back to a bent knee and a straight leg down dog. So 5 deep breaths back in down dog. Just taking that time to notice how downward facing dog feels now versus when you were first there. So maybe that connection is deep into the earth with hands and feet. The last couple deep breaths. So next inhale, lift heels high. Your exhale, release your knees down. So we're just back in tabletop. So we're going to come to sit down near the back of the mat, back in that Sukhasana. But first, if you know that you'd like a block or two for Shavasana, take those with you as you go back. And then just bring those to either side of your mat. Those will just go underneath your hands. And then before Shavasana, we're going to do a Paschimottanasana. And I'm going to suggest that we just use a blanket roll underneath the thighs for a supported Paschimottanasana. So otherwise you can take the leg straight version. But just taking your time to get set up. And then once you're set up there, with your inhale, lengthen. So hips down, top of head high. You can stay, that can be enough. Or with your exhale, find your fold. So you walk your hands forward. Maybe grab opposite ankles. Maybe grab outer edges of feet. But we'll be here a little bit longer. So about 10 to 15 breaths. So once you've really landed in your pose, each place of stillness is really an opportunity to turn inward, notice your own sensations, and there's more subtle sensations. So maybe inhale, you can feel that sense of lengthening just by using your breath. Your exhale, a deeper fold. So about 5 more breaths. One last breath cycle. Again, maybe that last exhale is your deepest fold yet. Release your hands back to the mat. Press into hands to bring yourself all the way back up. And just for an inhale, we'll do either reverse plank or a reverse tabletop. So walk hands behind you, either legs straight or knees bent. I'm going to bend my knees for this one. So you just inhale, lengthen the front side of your body towards the sky. With your exhale, reset hips down, and then come to lie down for your Shavasana. So the blanket roll is maybe already there. If you took that supported Paschimottanasana, that can feel nice during Shavasana to have that blanket roll. And blocks can go underneath hands. You just want as much of your finger space on top of the block. But those are just optional. So you can take no props if that suits you better. Otherwise, a different configuration with the props. But really just giving yourself time to relax into this pose. So after all that movement, no other responsibility right here, right now. This is really just some time for you to let go and relax. So once you're there, take that long inhale through your nose. Let go with a sigh out your mouth. Just let your Ujjayi breath cycle go. And just let your natural breath happen again. And just relax into your Shavasana. And this is a song called The Beautiful Mystery. Learning to listen, learning to see things for how they are, not how we let them to be. And all that's bothered us is washed with history, and what lies ahead of us is a beautiful mystery. Life was simple when we believed in something more than us, something more than what we see, staying open to the beautiful mystery. Learning to listen, we're learning to be with ourselves. Oh, and finally now, suddenly it all seems clear for the first time, and we are right where we are supposed to be. And life was simple when we believed in something more than us, something more than what we see, staying true to the beautiful mystery. Whoa, whoa, whoa. To listen, we're learning to see things for how they are, and how we let them to be. And all that's bothered us is washed with history, and what lies ahead of us is a beautiful mystery. So to come out, start to take some deeper breaths again. And just noticing how you're feeling as you take those deeper breaths. And just bring some movement back once you're ready. So maybe fingers and toes, maybe wrists and ankles, maybe anything else that's good and intuitive. That just brings back an even sense of energy for the rest of your day. And then once you're back in that awakened space, slide your legs together, reach your arms up overhead, and then either in a passive way or more active, press toes away from fingertips. Your next exhale, pull in knees towards chest. You can stay in the center or rock side to side. And then just let the momentum of that rocking roll you to a side. It's your choice, whatever side feels most balancing to end your practice. And then take a breath on the side. And then once you're ready, press into your hands to press yourself back up, back into a Sukhasana. So back where we started. So once you're in that Sukhasana, this comfortable seated position, bring your hands to heart. Just one last moment to pause. So just notice how you feel now versus when you first started in this pose. And then just give yourself a thanks for making the time for yourself and your practice, your own sense of well-being. And we'll just end this practice with one collective breath. So that soft inhale through your nose, that soft sigh out your mouth. And we'll end there. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.